We now start our discussion on module 2 of chapter 1. In the last module, module 1 of chapter 1, we had defined Lebesgue outer measure, and we had seen that the nicest part of the Lebesgue outer measure is that it could be defined for all subsets of real numbers. Also, we had seen that it had most of the desired properties of the length function, but there was one deficiency that we could not prove that it is countably additive. Now, in this module, what we are going to do is that we are going to introduce some special types of sets, and we will see that when we take the restriction of the Lebesgue outer measure on these special types of sets, we will finally get our desired measure. So, we start with our first slide giving the formal definition of a Lebesgue measurable set. We start with this important definition. A set E of real numbers is called Lebesgue measurable if for any A subset of R we have mu star of A is equal to mu star of A intersection E plus mu star of A intersection E complement, where E complement stands for the complement of the set E. Now, see that this definition looks very abstract at the first glance, but we will see that this will come to our help in a much bigger way. And just think of the definition in this way, that when we are considering Lebesgue measurable sets, we are actually talking about some special sets E which have this particular property, that whenever the set E divides any set A into two disjoint parts, namely A intersection E and A intersection E complement, it divides the set into two parts in this way, so that the Lebesgue outer measure of the whole set A can be obtained as the sum of the Lebesgue outer measures of the two parts. It is easy to note that a set E is measurable if and only if E complement is also measurable. From the definition, it is also clear that both the set of real numbers R and the empty set phi are measurable. If we consider a set E subset of R, and if the outer measure of the set E is 0, then also E should be measurable. The proof is quite trivial. It is not given in the presentation. The proof is given in the course content, you can see it. And consequently, if we use this fact, then it turns out that every countable set should be measurable. Why? Because see that if we consider a singleton set X, where X is a real number, we can always cover singleton set X by the open interval x minus epsilon, x plus epsilon. And so, from the definition of Lebesgue outer measure, mu star of singleton set X is less than 2 epsilon, Since this is true for any epsilon greater than 0, this implies that mu star of a singleton set should be equal to 0. Now, when we consider a countable set, I can write it as a sequence, say x n, and which in turn can be written as union of singleton set x n. Since each singleton set x n has Lebesgue outer measure 0 and Lebesgue outer measure is countably sub-additive, so it follows that every countable set of real numbers also has Lebesgue outer measure 0, and consequently we have this observation that every countable set is measurable. So, we now have concrete examples of measurable sets. We now prove this result, that if E and F are two measurable sets, then their union and difference, that is E union F and E minus F, are also measurable. We start the proof. Let A subset of R. Since the set E is measurable, so using the definition of measurability, I can write mu star of A as sum of the numbers mu star of A intersection E and mu star of A intersection E complement. Again, the set F is measurable, so we can use the measurability of F on any set of real numbers. In particular, I can use the measurability of F on the set A intersection E as well as on the set A intersection E complement also. So, we have mu star of A intersection E complement, this is equal to mu star of A intersection E complement intersection F plus mu star of A intersection E complement intersection F complement. This implies that if we start with the number mu star of A, this is equal to mu star of A intersection E plus mu star of A intersection E complement intersection F plus mu star of A intersection E complement intersection F complement. This is greater or equal to, we take the last term, and if we combine the first two terms, then by the sub-additivity of mu star, I have the sum of the first two terms is greater or equal to mu star of A intersection E union A intersection E complement intersection F. But this is equal to mu star A intersection E union E complement intersection F, and this is nothing but mu star of A intersection E union F. So, we have the first term mu star A intersection E complement intersection F complement, which we write as the second term in this expression, and mu star of A intersection E union F. Now, you know that E complement intersection F complement is E union F complement, and so we have on the right hand side mu star of A intersection E union F plus mu star of A intersection E union F complement, and this shows that the set E union F also satisfies the property of Lebesgue measurability, and so E union F is measurable. Coming to the difference, if we consider the difference E minus F, we can just note that we can rewrite E minus F in this form, E intersection F complement, and just by using similar arguments one can show that E minus F is also measurable. Next, we prove a result which we will use to show that actually countable union of measurable sets is again measurable. The result states that if E1, E2, En are n pairwise disjoint measurable sets, then for any A subset of R, we can write mu star of A intersection union I is equal to 1 to n E I is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to n mu star of A intersection E I. We do not go into the details of this proof. The proof is done by using mathematical induction in this way, that if we consider only one set E1, then the result is obvious. If we consider that the result is true for R sets, that is E1, E2, ER, then we have mu star of A intersection union I is equal to 1 to R E I equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to n mu star of A intersection E I, and then using the measurability of the set E R plus 1, we can get the result for n is equal to R plus 1, and then by using mathematical induction we can get the result for any positive integer n. Next, we go to one of the main results of this module, theorem 2. If En is a sequence of pairwise disjoint measurable sets, then first for any A subset of R, we can prove that mu star of A intersection union I is equal to 1 to infinity E I, this is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to infinity mu star of A intersection E I. That is, we can extend the above result which was defined for n sets into countably many sets. And at the same time, we can conclude that the union of the sets E I, that is E equal to union I is equal to 1 to infinity E I, is measurable. We start the proof now. See that we have already established that if E1, E2, En are n pairwise disjoint measurable sets, then for any subset A of real numbers, we have mu star of A intersection union I equal to 1 to n E I is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to n mu star of A intersection E I. Now, A intersection union I equal to 1 to n E I is a subset of A intersection union I equal to 1 to infinity E I. And so, using the monotonicity property of Lebesgue outer measure, we have mu star A intersection union I equal to 1 to n E I is less or equal to mu star A intersection union I equal to 1 to infinity E I. And so, combining we have sigma I equal to 1 to n mu star A intersection E I less or equal to mu star A intersection union I equal to 1 to infinity E I. Now, see that in this inequality the right hand side is a fixed number which is not dependent on n. So, since this result is true for any positive integer n, so taking n tends to infinity, we get sigma I equal to 1 to infinity mu star A intersection E I less or equal to mu star A intersection union I equal to 1 to infinity E I. But we already know that the Lebesgue outer measure mu star is countably sub-additive, and so mu star of A intersection union I equal to 1 to infinity E I is already less or equal to sigma I equal to 1 to infinity mu star A intersection E I. So, combining the two results, we finally get our desired result, that mu star A intersection union I equal to 1 to infinity E I is equal to sigma I equal to 1 to infinity mu star A intersection E I. Now, we prove our second assertion, that the union of those sets E n, that is E, should be measurable. So, we start with a set A subset of R. Let us write f n as union I is equal to 1 to n E I, that is the union of the first n sets. See that we have already shown that union of two measurable sets is measurable, and by mathematical induction it is easy to prove that union of finite number of measurable sets is measurable. So, this set f n is measurable for each n belonging to capital N, and obviously f n is subset of E, which is the union of all E I, and consequently we can use the measurability of this set f n, and we have mu star of A equal to mu star of A intersection f n plus mu star of A intersection f n complement, and this is equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to n mu star of A intersection E I plus mu star of A intersection f n complement. So, again we are using that lemma in the second step, and this is greater or equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to n mu star of A intersection E I plus mu star of A intersection E complement, because f n is subset of E and hence E complement is a subset of f n complement, and consequently A intersection E complement is a subset of A intersection f n complement, and by the monotonicity of the Lebesgue outer measure we have mu star of A intersection F n complement greater or equal to mu star of A intersection E complement. Again see that on the left hand side we have a number which is independent of n, as well as on the right hand side the second number mu star of A intersection E complement is also independent of n. So, this inequality is true for any n belonging to capital N, and so taking n tends to infinity we have mu star of A greater or equal to sigma I is equal to 1 to infinity mu star of A intersection E I plus mu star of A intersection E complement, and this is equal to mu star of A intersection E plus mu star of A intersection E complement, and this shows that the set E is measurable. Next, we extend this result to show that actually countable union of any measurable sets is measurable. Recall that in the earlier results I have assumed that the sets E1, E2, En etc. should be pairwise disjoint. So, here we are not taking pairwise disjoint measurable sets, we are taking any sequence of measurable sets. So, we start with an arbitrary sequence of measurable sets E n, n belonging to capital N. The trick is that we can divide the whole union into disjoint parts in the following way. So, write E as the whole union of E I, that is union I is equal to 1 to infinity E I. Now, let us define d 1 as E 1, d 2 as E 2 minus E 1, d n as E n minus union I is equal to 1 to n minus 1 E I. So, in each step we are deleting those part of E which have already been covered. Now, if we proceed in this way, see that in each step we have only finite union and difference of the members of E n, and so each d n is measurable, and further they are pairwise disjoint. So, this sequence d n, n belonging to capital N, is a sequence of pairwise disjoint measurable sets. Moreover, union of E I, which is equal to E, is equal to union of d I, but we have already seen that union of a sequence of pairwise disjoint measurable sets is measurable. So, the right hand side set union I is equal to 1 to infinity d I is measurable, and consequently we have the result that E should be measurable. So, to summarize, what we did in this module is that we have proceeded a step closer to defining our desired Lebesgue measure. We have defined a special class of sets called Lebesgue measurable sets, and we have seen that this class of sets is quite a large class in the sense that it forms a sigma algebra, and we have also seen some of its other properties. Later we will see that these sets also have some topological characterizations, and with this comment we end this module.